when I get back to the presentation, I want to talk about Deltec Homes. So I'm a brand ambassador for Deltec Homes, full disclosure, but that doesn't matter. This is something that I'm very excited about. So what's a Deltec home? What are they? Put simply, they're hurricane-resistant houses, okay? But to describe it in a little more detail, they're houses that can withstand extremely high winds, and I mean extremely high winds, okay? But also, and just as important, they're houses that connect you to nature while protecting you. And that's something really important. That's an important point to make. Now, up until I learned about Deltec and became a brand ambassador for them, I had this idea that a truly hurricane-resistant house had to be like, 5-foot thick concrete walls, steel doors, tiny, porthole windows. That was my idea of a hurricane-resistant house, okay? And Deltec Homes really kind of disabused me of that and gave me a whole other understanding. These are Deltec Homes, and look at them. I mean, they're super bright and airy. Here, I'll make the picture bigger so you can see it better, but they're open and airy. And check out all those huge ass windows. I mean, these are really these are homes that if you live in them, they allow you to really enjoy the natural surroundings and to really just appreciate them. Okay. Now, when they came to me, when they approached me about being a brand ambassador, at first I was kind of skeptical. I was like, But then I did my research. And once I did my research, I was convinced. And what convinced me was the ultimate test. And that's my name for my discovery. I call it the ultimate test. That wasn't some marketing slogan they gave me. So Deltec, they gave me a spreadsheet of all of their houses all over the US Gulf Coast and East Coast and all over the Caribbean. They got houses everywhere. And they gave me the locations of all of them, and I plotted them all, and I looked at which ones had direct hits by Category 4 and Category 5 hurricanes. And lo and behold, I found 2 that had a direct hit by Hurricane Dorian, okay? So keep in mind, I mentioned before, Hurricane Dorian, the strongest landfalling hurricane on record in North America with sustained winds of 185 miles an hour, tied with the 1935 Labor Day hurricane. These 2 houses, and the stars show where they are on the map. These 2 houses went through not just the core of Hurricane Dorian, but the dreaded right front quadrant, which is the strongest part of the storm. So these Deltec Homes, that to me is the ultimate test. And they got through with very little damage. Okay, just some cosmetic stuff. Here's one of them. Okay, the photograph quality is not amazing, but there you can see everything, the shrubs, the trees, everything's just flattened and blown away. And there's that house with just really, the only damage to it is it lost some roofing material. That's after the strongest hurricane on record in North America. That's a sturdy house. And here's another good example. This is actually not from Dorian. This is from a hurricane that was not nearly as strong as Dorian, but that was still a Cat 5. This is from Michael in Mexico Beach. And look at it. Everything is flattened and gone except the Deltec home. Again, just a little bit of damage to the roofing materials. So that's kind of amazing. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, that's crazy. How did that happen? How did they stay up? Now, I'm not an engineer, but I did want to understand it so I could talk about it, peek under the hood. And basically, it comes down to 3 things. There are 3 reasons that these houses are so wind resistant. First off is you probably noticed the round shape. It's a distinguishing feature. And it's not just an aesthetic thing. They're round because they are aerodynamic. Okay, I didn't know this because I'm not an engineer, but a normal house, the walls, reach each other at a right angle, and the wind pressure is greatest at those right angles. When you have a round home, there are no right angles. The winds distribute more evenly around the structure. It's more aerodynamic, so the pressure doesn't get to build up in any one place. So that's one thing that makes them extremely wind resistant, that they're aerodynamic. The next thing is the materials. So I didn't know this, but there's not all wood is created equal. Some wood is crap and some is really, really strong. The wood that they use for Deltec is this diamond grade wood, which is literally twice the hardness of the wood that's typically used to build homes in the United States. And that really makes a difference. Now, I had this big misconception that the only hurricane-resistant homes are made of concrete with steel rods in them. It's actually not true. Wood homes can withstand extremely high winds if it's the right kind of wood and if it's built properly. And that brings us to the third point, which is the precision engineering. So think about a high-performance car, okay? You got like, like a Porsche or something. Think about it. They create the parts and the elements and they put it all together in a very controlled environment. So like it's a factory that's almost like a laboratory. Okay, that's how Deltec homes are. So think about normal homes, they just build the whole thing like on a lot. With Deltec, they build most of the home and the components in a very controlled environment in their plant in North Carolina. And then those parts are then brought to the lot and then assembled. Okay. So there's real precision in terms of the parts and everything else. And then the way they're put together is amazing. Everything is so fit together. You think of the house not as a bunch of loose parts, but as this like really, really intensely integrated system. So in a badly built house, the roof is just kind of nailed on. On a better built house, you'll have a couple of straps kind of holding it. Okay, with a Deltec home, the roof is held on by these big ass saddle ties that tie around the sort of the main structural elements along the top of the wall. And the walls are connected to the foundation with these deep sort of connectors that go actually underground. So this house is a very, very solidly integrated system of parts that share the load and that hold together in extremely high winds. And those three reasons are why those houses in the Bahamas withstood a high-end Category 5 hurricane with just minor damage. It's really incredible stuff. And the other thing I want to say is that they're gorgeous houses. They're not bunkers. They're not ugly concrete blocks. They're open and airy and just beautiful. And they're good for the planet. They're made with sustainable materials. And also think about it. There's nothing more sustainable than houses that don't fall apart, because one thing that is, bad for our planet is houses constantly being destroyed and being rebuilt. If you want to know more about Deltec Homes, you can go to deltechomes.com and actually check it out. On the homepage, they just put up a new video and it's really gorgeous. It really gives you the feeling of what it's like to live in a Deltec home. And they're really, really beautiful. And I want to thank Deltec for being a partner in creating this live stream. All right, that's Deltec. Now I want to bring you on a blast from